We're talking about the latest developments in the crash of the Malaysian civilian aircraft with our correspondent in Kyiv, Sergio Cantone. Moscow and Kyiv continue to blame each other. What are the reactions of the inhabitants of Kyiv after the tragedy, and has there been a further escalation of geopolitical tensions in Ukraine? There are many concerns, but there is also the notion, the Ukrainian point of view, that this incident may shake the stance of the European Union, who so far, according to many in Kyiv, have been somewhat soft regarding this crisis and rather conciliatory towards Moscow. A shock of this magnitude, in which several citizens of the European Union have lost their lives, it can lead Brussels and other European countries to change their stance regarding Ukraine. Ukrainian Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk said that he had to bring the perpetrators of this tragedy before the International Criminal Court. But are the conditions in place for international experts to access this crash site? Currently, there are no new clear outcomes regarding the crash site. Firstly, the place is under the control of separatists, and therefore the investigation under international law should be conducted by the Kyiv authorities, who, for the moment, are officially the authorities in this area. The experts of a commission created for this purpose will have difficulty entering the site of the tragedy, where they need to study and analyse parts of the plane and recover the remains of the victims. The pro-Russian separatists have promised a ceasefire for 2 to 4 days to allow recovery of the remains of the plane. What is the situation right now at the site of the disaster? It is a tense situation. We talk about ceasefire, but for the moment the fighting continues. Not at the crash site, but nearby. Sources from the Ukrainian security services insist they are, for example, looking to strengthen the border to prevent the infiltration of militants from the Russian Federation. And this requires, of course, a continuation of fighting. So there were clashes in the night too, despite the crash of the aircraft.
Quindi ci sono stati dei conflitti a fuoco anche durante la notte, nonostante quello che è accaduto con l'aereo.
Putin said this tragedy confirms the urgent need for a peaceful solution to the crisis. Could the plane crash bring about international pressure to resolve the crisis in Ukraine?
Sicuramente è un punto di svolta,
It seems this is a turning point in the crisis, which is becoming extremely serious. There could be a de-escalation of violence in this crisis, but we have to wait and see what the outcome of the investigation is and how the international community reacts to those found responsible after an investigation has been conducted.
Grazie al nostro corrispondente a Kiev e buon lavoro, Sergio Cantone.
Grazie a voi.